Hi, welcome to What's Up. I'm Jan Carr, the author of the Buddy and Bea series. See, here's my name, Jan Carr. It also says, illustrated by Chris Mackay. Chris is a cartoonist, and her art for the book has a really fun and funny feel. It's cartoony, as you're about to see. Buddy and Bea is a series about two kids, and their names are, can you guess? Yes, exactly, Buddy and Bea. Buddy and Bea are in second grade, so there's actually a lot of fun characters in this book because there are a lot of kids in their class. As the first book starts, it's the very first day of second grade, and Buddy and Bea haven't even met yet. When Buddy gets to school, he's really happy because his friends are in his class. Yay! Even his best friend, Joey. Yay! And he has a new teacher. She seems really nice. Her name is Miss Maple. Hey, can you see my earrings? Can you tell that they're leaves? They're actually maple leaves. I'm wearing them in honor of Miss Maple. Miss Maple starts the day by calling the roll. Buddy, here. Joey, here. Priya, here. Kiko, here. Hey, do any of you want to be in Miss Maple's class just for today? Why not? You can just say your name. Go ahead. I'll wait for you. Now shout, here. Great. Yay. Everybody's here. Oh, no, wait. There's another name on the list. Miss Maple reads it to the class. Bea? But no one says here. Miss Maple looks around. She says, does anyone know Bea? No one does. Aha, Bea must be a new girl, but a new girl who didn't show. That makes her a new girl no-show. Buddy thinks this is kind of funny, so he saves a seat next to him for the new girl no-show. He figures it will stay empty all year long. But then, bam, the door to the classroom bursts open. It's a girl. Who's Miss Maple, she demands. Miss Maple says, that's me. Are you by any chance Bea? I am. This girl is loud. Miss Maple pulls out the empty chair that Buddy saved. Then you can sit here, she says, because Buddy has very thoughtfully saved a seat for you. Uh-oh, these two are gonna sit next to each other? I predict they're gonna have a bit of a bumpy start because Buddy and Bea have very different personalities. Let me introduce them. Buddy. Buddy's kind of dreamy and he's spacey, he's a little pokey, and he's always losing things like his baseball cap. And you can always tell who Buddy is in the pictures because he's the one wearing the big round glasses that are a little too big for his face. And he also has a cowlick in his hair that sticks straight up. But Bea's personality is the opposite. Bea's fast and she's loud. She says things without thinking. If something pops into her head, it comes right out of her mouth. She's boisterous and full of beans. She cannot be contained because she's Bea. What do you think about these two kids with such opposite personalities? Do you think they'll get along? Well, it's going to be a challenge. So, what gave me the idea to put these two funny characters in a classroom together? Well, I remembered back when I worked as a teacher. Yes, I was a teacher, like Miss Maple. Back then, I noticed that in a classroom there were always a lot of different personalities, and they're all crammed together in one room every day, and everybody has to get along, or try to. which makes classrooms really interesting places to be, and sometimes the differences can be funny. So when I became a writer, I started writing the funny things down, like a spy. Writers are kind of like spies. I wrote them here in my writer's notebook. There was one kid I noticed who lost things all the time. He was always losing his baseball cap, like Buddy. And another kid whose glasses were always askew, Buddy again. And every year there were new kids, like Bea. How about your classroom? Can you think of any funny things that have happened there? Any interesting or unusual things? You might want to write them down in a special writer's notebook. This is the one I use now. Hey, wait, who's that on the front of the notebook? Yes, it's Buddy and Bea. I put them there for inspiration. If you want, you can paste a picture on the cover of your notebook, one that might inspire you. It could be a picture you draw, or a picture you have, a pretty one, a funny one, one that has special meaning for you, like a place you love or a person you love. What do you think you'd put on the front of your notebook? Now that you've heard a little bit about Buddy and Bea, would you like me to read a section from the book? I have a really funny part I think you might like. This is from chapter 6. The chapter's called Cowlick. Remember, Buddy has a cowlick, which is just a tuft of hair that grows in a different direction from the rest of the hair, so it might stick up. And in this chapter, it's lunchtime. But he's in the cafeteria, he's got his lunch tray with his little cup of mayonnaise, and because he's been a little pokey getting his lunch, because of course he was, he's Buddy, there are no seats next to him, next to his friends. And so, who's he gonna sit with? Is he gonna sit with, well, let's read. Buddy looked around. The only empty seat he saw was next to Bea. She was sitting with Amber and Priya. Should he sit with them? He didn't really have a choice. The girls were talking. Maybe Bea would keep talking to them, not him. As Buddy sat down, some big kids walked by, really big. To Buddy, they seemed as tall as trees. 5th graders, he figured, had to be. Cool 5th graders. Buddy twisted around so he could see them better. He leaned so far that he fell off the bench. The 5th graders laughed. Gravity, said one. Yeah, said another. Bigger objects pull on little ones. One of the big kids bent down and ruffled Buddy's hair. He helped Buddy back up onto the bench. Then he was gone. He messed up your hair, said Bea. I don't mind, said Buddy. He really didn't. Those big kids knew stuff, like about gravity. Buddy wanted to know stuff too. But your hair has that sticky up part in the back, said Bea, and he made it worse. You mean my cowlick, said Buddy. He'd remembered what it was called. Your what? My cowlick, the part that won't lie flat. It swirls around like a cow licked it. Bea spat on her hand and rubbed it into his hair before Buddy could stop her. Hey, said Buddy, what are you doing? I'm trying to pat it down. No, he said, you spit in my hair. I didn't. I spit in my hand. But then you put it in my hair. Bea spit into her hand again. Amber and Priya leaned away. Yuck, they cried, gross. But he tried to block Bea. Actually, he tried to hit her. Just her hand, which wasn't really hitting, was it? But Bea was fast. She'd already rubbed in more spit. Cut it out, yelled Buddy. Doesn't your mom ever do that, asked Bea? Spit in your hair? Buddy shook his head. Not even when she's about to take your picture and your grand's yelling, stop the picture, the girl's hair's a fright. I don't have a mom, said Buddy. Bea looked surprised. Then she put on a sorry face. She leaned close and she whispered, did she die? No, said Buddy, I never had a mom. I have 2 dads, Poppy and Dado. Oh, said Bea, I don't have a dad. I have a mom, just one. Now, Buddy felt sorry for Bea. Maybe if she had a dad, she'd be different. Maybe she wouldn't call him Finley or put spit in his hair. If you want, offered Buddy, you could borrow one of my dads. I mean, if you ever need to. No thanks, she said, I've got a gran. Bea turned to Amber. Hey, she said, what's your name again? Amber. Amber, do you have a mirror? Amber didn't. So Bea picked up a spoon. She held it close to Buddy's face. See, she said. See what? Said Buddy. The spoon? It's like a mirror, said Bea. Not really, thought Buddy. Can't you see your hair? Said Bea in the reflection. Buddy stared into the spoon. So he didn't notice Bea dip her fingers into his little cup of mayonnaise. This ought to do it, said Bea. She smeared mayo into his cowlick and smashed it down. Ooh, squealed Amber and Priya. No, cried Buddy. Bea had put mayonnaise in his hair. Actually, said Bea, that was a good idea you had. What was? When you said, cut it out. Maybe you should cut out that hair. But this'll work for now. It just has to dry. After that, Buddy didn't feel much like eating his lunch because his lunch was in his hair. Though it turned out it didn't really matter because it was time to go to recess. Joey and his other friends were heading out. And that's the end of chapter 6. So what did you think about that? Did you expect that? Did you expect Bea would put mayonnaise in Buddy's hair? Did you expect anyone would actually do something like that? Well, Bea would. Now that these two are in class together, they're going to have to figure out a way to try to deal with each other every day. How are they gonna do that? Well, you'll have to read the books. Buddy and Bea, book 1, Not Really Buddies, and book 2, Tiny Tornadoes. Check them out. I really love writing about these two funny characters. They make me laugh. I hope they make you laugh too. Thank you so much for dropping by. Oh, and what? Thank you! Buddy and Bea say thanks too. Bye!